With a great cold front to kick off early October, the hunting has been action-packed across the board, with much of our team experiencing solid buck action. Eventually, the seasonably cool temperatures pass, and the weather returns to the early October normal. On the afternoon of October 10th, Jared Mills and Grant Noble are on the river farm, both with a bow in hand overlooking a green source.
Alright, it's October 10th and Grant and I are settled in for the afternoon hunt. This is actually my first hunt in about a week. I've just been working a lot and just kind of monitoring cameras. Been a little bit slower, just waiting for some better weather and waiting for some of these bigger deer to show some consistency. Grant and I are hunting together because we each have target bucks on this farm that we're going after. I am targeting Merino, and then Grant's top target is a deer we call Bob, who's been on the farm ever since we bought it back in 2017. I'm gonna try to make it a priority to get somebody on him. He's a good looking deer. He's a big old body. I would argue that we have a better chance of seeing that deer than we do Merino tonight. And we're set up over a nice big and beastie plot, really close to some ag fields too that have not been picked yet. Well, some of the corn has been partly picked, but most of it's still standing, and that's kind of where I think Merino is spending some time. A lot of the bigger deer just spend a lot of time out in the cornfields and the standing corn, so they're not forced into the cover on these properties until all the farmers get these crops out. I wanted to come out and give it a shot tonight. Regardless, feels good to be back in a tree, and hopefully we can have a good hunt.
The hunt ends on a high note when a solid 4-year-old makes his way across the plot. That same evening, Mike Reed is also out on the river farm, hoping to catch one of the target bucks heading to the recently picked cornfields Jared talked about. Though no mature bucks show, Mike takes advantage of his opportunity and wraps his first tag of the season on a mature doe. Two evenings later on October 12th, 45 miles to the north of the river farm, Mike is heading to one of his best stands, the cherry tree.
Monday, October 12th. Cold front blowing in, we got a northwest wind, and Chase and I are headed back to the cherry tree after the turkey foot 10. It's about 65 degrees, feels awesome outside, pressure's rising. See if we can't have a good hunt. Well, it's Monday, October 12th. Got a northwest wind, clear bluebird skies, and pressure on the rise. High's about 65 degrees. I got finished up with work, and Chase and I are set up back on this cherry tree plot. Feels like a good night. I mean, the wind's still gusting pretty high, but it should die down that last hour. I did some work out here last week when the temperatures were high, and I trimmed out a few more lanes out of this tree, stuff that I intended to get done in the summer, but a lot of my summer projects bled over into the early season, just being so busy between home and work. We'll see how the movement is tonight once the wind dies down.
With lots of deer around him, Mike anxiously scans the draws looking for the Turkeyfoot 10 to appear. 35 miles to the south, Jared Mills is also hunting the good cold front.
Alright, here we go. I would call this the first high anticipation hunt of the season. It's October 12th, and Connor and I are diving in tonight after the Big Ten that I was after last year. I wish I could say that I had a good pattern or a good reason to be coming in after him, but I don't. He's been pretty sporadic on cameras. I guess my good reason is that we're experiencing a cold front. We had it roll through overnight. It's actually the first of two cold fronts this week. This is I would call it the minor one, about a 10 to 15 degree drop from yesterday's highs. And then we have a more dramatic change coming later in the week. But I do know the deer movement was really slow last night. I took Grant to one of the farms that I hunt and filmed him shoot a doe. It's just really warm and a slow movement night, and I'm hoping that tonight will be the opposite. The reason I picked this spot is it's in the general area that I've been seeing this buck a little bit this year. I don't think he's fully moved onto the property. There's a lot of crops coming out right now though, and it's kind of gotten the deer moving a little bit, shifting around, and it's a good spot overlooking some clover right here that I mowed about 2 weeks ago, and it looks really good. I did have daylight pictures of them here in late September, shortly before I mowed this, so that's been a couple weeks. So it'll be interesting to see how the deer just use this spot in general for future knowledge purposes, but I'm excited. I think tonight is as good of a night as any for him to make an appearance through here. I know he's around here somewhere. I don't want to miss when he actually does come through in daylight, so I didn't want to wait for trail cam pictures to tell me to jump in.
Jared's first shot at the Big Ten misses its mark and the buck never shows. Only does make the way into the clover, but this is a good sign for the weeks ahead. Back in the cherry tree, Mike's evening ended much the same. Only does and no sighting of his target buck. Both hunters look ahead to the incoming major cold front only days away. Three days later, the second cold front of the week arrives, steamrolling through eastern Iowa.
It's Thursday, October 15th. I got out of work around 3:30, and Chase and I were able to slip over to my home farm and get in the stand by 4 to get a little hunt in on this awesome mid-October cold front here in Iowa. We've had a 30-degree drop since yesterday. We got pressure above 30, clear bluebird skies. It just feels awesome for October 15th. We're back in this cherry tree set after Turkeyfoot. He was actually here yesterday morning, right here on this scrape under the tree. And he's been active in daylight down in the Big and Beastie plot down the hill a couple mornings in the last week. He typically beds right here in this ravine or down on the creek bottom there. And on a night like tonight with this cold front coming through, it's a great night to catch him on his feet a little early coming to feed. It's almost 5 o'clock, so we have about 2 hours left before the end of legal shooting. I imagine the deer activity is going to pick up here pretty soon. He's done. He's done. Dude, just like that. October 15th. Mid-October. Let's talk about the October lull. Little cold front action. He's pinning it. Oh, God. That feels so good. Dude, that's awesome. Dude, it's 5 birdies. Oh, I'm so pumped. Well, it's 5:45, and that was a turkey foot 10. I 10-ringed him here at 18 yards. Looked like I made a great shot on him. I don't think he went very far. It just goes to show you what these cold fronts will do here in October. I couldn't be more excited.
Enjoying the evening, Mike and Chase celebrate and begin packing up in the tree to take up the trail on the giant buck. 35 miles to the south, Jared is back after the Big Ten, overlooking the same small clover field he hunted a few days before.
Yeah, I can see something. I can't see him though. Oh, I got him. I got his body. Well, it's 6 o'clock right now. And I just happened to pull my binos up and look. I have one little window to see across the creek. I can see the back end of the deer. Sure enough, it was a Big Ten. First deer we see all night. We got some does coming right below us, so I'm gonna keep this short. But he turned and ran the other way, like he was chasing a buck or something. Hopefully he comes back this way.
That's the kind of blood trail you want to see. Golly. It's like someone pouring a bucket. I just want to get another angle. There it is. All right. Blood. Dude, he's right there. He just tumbled down right here in the hole. He didn't make it anywhere. We could have seen him fall from the tree. The tree's just right there. What a stud. Yeah. What an awesome deer. Golly. I don't know if I've ever closed a chapter on a target buck this quickly here in Iowa. I have to give all the credit to this cold front. Middle of October, October 15th, 76 degrees yesterday. This cold front hits, cools us down 25, 30 degrees, and knew we had to be in a tree. Came up to the cherry tree. Trail cameras and scouting told me that that's where I was going to catch this buck eventually if I sat there enough. And we've made a handful of sits there, and here we are sitting behind him. He came in to just 18 yards, made a great shot on him, but he didn't make it 50. You gotta love it when a plan comes together, and I couldn't be more excited. You know, this was my landlord tag, so I still have my statewide bow tag, and I've got my urban bow tag, so plenty of hunting left to do. Everything that's, all the good hunting's in front of us yet. Got the pre-rut right around the corner and all my vacation time, so looking forward to a great season.
Jared and Mike aren't the only Midwest Whitetail team members taking advantage of the mid-October lottery. 400 miles to the southeast in southern Missouri, Logan Swindle is tucked into his stand looking for a giant.
Welcome to Midwest Whitetail. It's October 15th, and I'm finally getting the chance to sit in the stand for the first time this year. It's just been so hot. It's a north wind today, 10 to 15 mile an hour, and it's finally cooled off, so this is the first good cold front for us. Tonight I'm hunting a buck we call Righty. We've had a few years of history with him. We got him a couple times last year, but it feels good to be back in the stand, and the weather looks promising over the next 10-15 days. So anyway, with it being cooler, I'm going to try to get in and hunt as much as I can. Filming myself tonight. Matt wasn't able to make it. He's trying to finish up bean harvest. So anyway, feels good to be back, and I think we'll be in for a good night. That was exciting. That was a buck we called Righty. I think I talked a little bit about him in the interview. That's who I came in here to hunt. We've been catching him somewhat frequently right here on the cuttybacks, and we hadn't been in here to hunt, and we were just waiting on this cold front, and sure enough, that cold front got him on his feet. There was a 4-pointer that would come up here for a little bit, and he kept looking back in the timber, and I figured there'd be some more deer come out, and sure enough, he came out and gave me such a perfect shot. He wasn't, I think, probably 25 yards, and I put a good shot on him, and actually I think he made it over there to the edge and fell over. So I love October cold fronts. They're just nothing better. Nothing better. So anyway, I'm gonna collect my thoughts here and soak it in a little bit, and I guess go over there and take a look.
Dude, he's right there. He just tumbled down right here in the hole. He didn't make it anywhere.
Cool to see him, man. He looks good, and like I said earlier, let the chess match begin. It's probably gonna be another cat and mouse little time period here, just like we did last year, but this is the fun part.
That was a buck we called Righty. I think I talked a little bit about him in the interview. That's who I came in here to hunt. I love October cold fronts. They're just nothing better.
A major cold front in October is as valuable an event to the bow hunter as they come, and thus far the team has been lucky enough to strike gold more than once. Too often the first weeks of season are a mere waiting game, a time to gain a feel for what the bigger deer will be doing when the gates break wide open. But with Mike and Logan's picture-perfect hunts that yielded punch tags, and Jared's close encounter with the giant 10-pointer, yet again it feels like we're right in the middle of the storm. Reality is, though, we're only halfway there. Drake Lamb has stuck to the traditional script, shooting does and hunting the fringes, patiently waiting for his permission farm to show increased buck activity. However, not everyone has time to wait. Grant Noble and Max Mongrello both begin to feel the weight of their tags as deadlines approach that will see both leaving for most of the fall for work. With the entire second half of the month ahead of us, much like the bucks we are hunting, the team's anticipation begins to build. Each day the hunting gets better as more of the bucks begin to feel the annual change. Rising testosterone will lead to increased activity in the daylight hours as they make their rounds, keeping tabs on the local does, preparing for the upcoming rut. We can only hope October maintains this unprecedented pace, but one thing is for certain. Each day the calendar page flips, we're one hunt closer to when we will again be chasing November.